I heard that you heard that you.
All good things, right?
Don't you think you love cookies?
Somebody did a lot of work.
Yes, these are beautiful. They've done 3 of them. One over there, one over there on that couch as well. But yeah, they only put a lot of work.
Don't worry about it. That's what I was just saying. Nice to meet you. And you live in Columbus, are you?
That's okay.
I don't know. She's fine.
Oh, that's right.
My director is doing something every month, so. Last year you had that surgery, but the way you had to do it, okay. Yeah, well. I'm getting old. How you doing? Well, I haven't seen you for a while. Oh, okay. The only thing was, she was in, and she flies back for a lot of weddings. That's how I'm going to see her. But she's like, oh, she's married to this part of yeah. I was just saying that this is weddings I'm not going to do. So I thought that right, and happy for it, like right. Right, exactly. There's a picture of her. That. Right. Black and white. They can have. I think Did you see her that? I didn't see her. Do you need anything?
Sit down. Sit
I've
down.
been trying to greet everybody and introduce myself.
So I would like you to introduce the eulogy because you know it, and so after that they'll just go back to the song. So I think I'll try to introduce the thing and say what we're doing and why we're doing it, and just let it roll. And I'm hoping that people will have the
Confidence.
well, just to say something because it's really this is about Myrtle and I love it. Who did all that work?
So Kim put together the pictures. I threw them all in a folder, and then Kim printed them and glued them on these. They gave us, the funeral home gave us the boards, and so Kim said, "How can I help?" And I said, "Glue all the pictures on the board." So she did
That's
that.
incredible.
Isn't that great?
Yes, the pictures are
Aren't
just,
they fantastic? I went through my mom's. I have my grandmother's secretary, and that's where all the pictures were. And my mom had the presence of mind while she could still see to write on the back of all these pictures. Aren't these classics?
it's just incredible.
Clearly, she dated someone before my dad.
And you know what you should do right, is if you can do the reception during the reception, and maybe even make a comment about, and that's your mom.
Yeah, isn't that precious?
So you know more about these than anybody. So it would be nice if during the reception you'd say, "Wait a minute, I want to tell you what about these." If you're inclined.
Yeah, I would be inclined, but it's depending on if people are if they want to listen, I'd be more than happy to.
Well, we can. Mrs. Hock.
Yeah, that was in Chicago.
So, but this is fun. This is fun.
I'm happy with it.
I think that is amazing. Good. I'm going to say something about that too.
Yeah, I'm glad. I was relieved because I was worried that they might not be.
Hi, so it's one of your. I'm Lisa. Okay. I'm sorry.
So I'm here to do that. You're from Incarnation. Yes, that's my parish I grew up in. That's what my father said. Yes.
First communion, confirmation. Hi, you're Lynn?
I am.
Hi, I'm Stacy.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. You too.
I'm here today. Oh, and this is Father Gene.
Yeah, hi, Father
This is the
Constantino.
soloist and the accompanist.
We're from the Incarnation. You've been over there a few times, I know.
Over the years, yeah. Great, so just do what you do. You do.
Okay, great. Isn't that great? I'm not sure. That might have been yours.
I just have one question. You still want me to bring it? I can tell you during the sharing.
So this is what you're going
And what I'll do then is I'll try to start well. Say.
Yeah. Wake up. That's amazing. Somebody did a lot of work. Well, Mert's husband Jerry and I placed her. So since high school, I guess, we crossed paths, but lately So I did Jerry's research. Lately, over the last 10, 15 years, they live here, I live here. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, I think the deacon wants to appear more often, so he, I appear less. It's okay. Well, I go from St. Charles to St. Albert's to the Ascension. Those are the places that I get. So I just go. I don't do anything on campus. They're all covered. So and I got more substitutions in June because people came on vacation. But really, and most of my friends are very unhappy. And I told Jerry last night, he said, he said that the community at St. Leonard is looking for another group that meets. Well, if they were really smart, they would join St. Leonard. Yeah, all of those churches were granted some kind of relationship. At the university, we do not have a town. We're part of the So I would say it'd be a lot less work if you were just it's like why does it not have a regional government? Why do we have all these little cities? Because everybody wants to do what they're doing. So yeah, we're Americans. Sure. I like a chair because my butt's old.
Yeah, when she said we have a piano up front and we have a place for the singers, you want to cheer it up for the piano? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Hi, Father. How are you doing? I'm reading like a eulogy for.
You're Mark?
Yes, I'm
Great. So I just asked Lynn to introduce you. So she knows you better than I do. So she said yes.
Okay.
So make sure that you and she are on the same page.
Okay. Can I put this up on the lectern just to keep it up there?
I won't chew on it.
Jim has a hearing test, but in March, and I hear that he's having the other.
Jenny Graham.
March, and the other one.
Take your time.
Happy board. I agree.
Welcome.
I think the last time I saw you was probably a church. We worked with Tim. My brother Tim.
All right. All right.
It's been a while.
A little bit. So the libraries are everywhere.
Yes,
And you're right. You know, somebody.
Somebody. Yeah. So how do you get into this?
we taught at the high school. Myrtle was my aide when she was at high school.
And I taught there
We
too.
taught together. We taught together.
So
Wow.
we worked
So
with
it's
Myrtle.
been a while. Yeah.
It's been years.
Wow.
We kind of kept up with her here and there at different things.
Excuse me, if you drive a silver Ford Escape, your car alarm's been going off for about 15 minutes now. We would really appreciate it if somebody could just turn that off. Thank you. Silver Ford Escape.
You know, I was a student in Chicago for 2 semesters, and somebody's car was outside, and the cops said they can't do anything about it. They can't get in to shut it off. So somebody has to go, but eventually the battery actually wears out, and it won't go all day.
It started right when I got out of the car. Well, I know it's not mine because I'm sitting in my.
I don't even have one.
Well, it's good.
All right, good seeing you.
Well, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good morning, young man.
I'm doing fine.
I'm still on campus. No, Morning, Tom.
How are you? Good to see you.
So good.
Well, she was running a lot of people. Good to see you.
I'll help you need it for this. Oh, yeah. Go sit. Yeah.
Hey girls, how are you girls doing? Hey, family is stuck on 975. So,
We're talking about it now.
a what?
No, we're talking about it now. They're discussing it amongst themselves.
So, let us set up the flare here when we know.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks for your
Okay.
We've got the music playing right now. As soon as that music's over, I'll look into the microphone and the microphone's there.
Okay. Sounds good. I knew I just heard Amazing Grace, so I thought, oh, you ready?
I'm gonna go tell Paul.
Maybe not quite yet, so,
I know.
yeah.
So, we're still
Yeah. I can, but lately, can't get there. I think it's water. It's just I think congestion in the back. It's still high. I guess the yeah.
That's what I said. They should be
There you go, girly girls.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. There has been an accident on 75, so that has delayed some of the family getting here. We'll be starting the service in about 5 minutes or so. Thank you all so much for your patience. Is there anything else that we're listening to?
I love the dogs from the sit right here.
I'll see what I can do.
No. Those are Max's dogs. So I do the ones called
All right, I'll be back. Okay. Again, I'll let you know. Thank you so much. No problem.
yeah, Max. I know I've been Max. But I can't stand like yeah, This was a real easy shot. This came down. Came down on Big River, and right before the intersection, Myers, over there, there's a little street, a light, that shoots out to the right, and that's what it was hard to see. Tank, and I just set it up right here. Yeah, you can follow me. I'll sit in one. It's right over there.
She said, Sherry said she's waiting for minutes behind, but I think we can go ahead.
Oh, there's an extra one.
You want an extra one?
Here, can I trade you out?
I'm sure it is. I just sit here, but thank you, Tony.
It's gonna be a little puppy.
Of course. Still not yet.
Ready?
Yeah,
See over there? The white beats you on? Jenny, you want to do your nails with that cell phones and stuff, so you don't get beat to the middle of your thing.
Is that my live? I can use that, so, here. I mean, that's why I need you.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for your patience. Thank you for coming out today to honor and celebrate the life of Myrtle Hock. Before we get started with services here, I just ask you to get your cell phones and make sure you get silence. Thank you. We are going to get started with a piece that was selected by Myrtle. This is very important to her. Thank you.
I'm sorry that I loved you. I know you feel alone. But God told me that He needed me. He called me to come home. I would see to be an instant in the twinkling of an eye. And angels gently took my hand and led me toward the sky. As I ascended to the heavens, beyond the pearly gates, angels were rejoicing that I saw His radiant face. As the light shone down upon me from the glory of His throne, He said, enter into paradise, 'cause heaven's now your home. I felt the light of grace through all the trials. I left my faith. No longer do I suffer, my eyes have been opened. I'm flying with the angels, and heaven's now my home. God told me not to worry, He said you'd be okay. Because eternity's forever, and we'll meet again someday. I follow the light, I finish the race. Through all the trials, I kept my faith. No longer do I suffer, my eyes been renewed. I'm flying with the angels, and heaven's now my home. I'm flying with the angels, and heaven's now my home.
I want you to look around. I want you to look at the people who are here. Because we didn't all come from the same church. We didn't all come from the same school. We didn't all come from the same city. But we came here because of a person. And how we treat each other in life is a mark of what is happening right now. You are teaching all of us a story. What gathers people is not exactly the right answer or the right position, but it's how we treat each other. And we're here because of her, because of how she touched our lives and how we touched hers. And so we come together to remember her and to remember the God whom we call by different names. So I ask you for a moment as together we can pray. God, we believe in your presence. We believe that we live in the palm of your hands. Through our good days and our not so good days, our faith is always alive. May what we do here today give you praise. Carry Myrtle with us. And so remember that you are Creator, Redeemer, and Sanctifier, today, forever. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So we have a reading.
We do, and my brother's going to do it.
Carrie, it's your job.
Nice.
Right about now, I think a short joke, if you all can see me, but anyway, you know to stop that, you can stop. A reading from Proverbs 31, 10 through 31. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so he shall not need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant's ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. She considereth the field, and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good, her candle goeth not out by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the staff. She stretches out her hand to the poor, yea, she reaches forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household are clothed in scarlet or double garments. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, when he sitteth among the elders of the land. She maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in the time to come. She openeth up her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou hast exhausted them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Proverbs 31.
Amen.
Amen.
Introduce Mark. Oh.
it. And I wrote this question. I would like to introduce Mr. Mark Weissong. He is one of the closest friends of our family and very much like a son to my mom. And he agreed to deliver the eulogy today. So, Mark, thank you.
Family and friends, thank you for being here. My name is Mark Weissong. My family has been friends with the Hocks for many years, beginning when my mother and Myrtle worked together with special needs children at Centerville High School back in the 1980s. Myrtle's daughter Lynn asked me today if I could say a few words. I feel honored to share with you a few stories that I hope will show who Myrtle was. It was 1987 when I first met Myrtle. I was 17 and Myrtle was an 8 at Centerville High School working with my mom. I stopped by after school to hitch a ride home with Mom instead of taking the bus, and they were cleaning up before they left. You didn't want to ride the bus with your friends? My mom asked, and before I could answer, Myrtle retorted in her sassy southern accent. I'll try to do this justice. I think he likes to hang out with older women. And then she gave that devilish smile she had. She made me laugh. Right then, I knew I liked her. I had no idea she would be in my life for such a long time. As I mentioned earlier, Myrtle worked with special needs kids at the high school. Myrtle spent a lot of time working with her students about stranger danger. You know, don't get into cars with strangers, don't open doors to strangers, things like that. One night after school, it was raining really hard, and Myrtle saw one of her students walking home with no umbrella, nothing. So she rolls her window down, she calls him by name, and offers to take him home. And he refused to get in the car, you know, stranger danger. So I guess she taught him pretty well. Teaching special education was not always easy, and sometimes they had to do things, you know, to lighten things up. And Myrtle was up to the task. One of her co-workers, Tim Ivory, was a huge Bengals fan. So Myrtle and Mom snuck out in the parking lot and they wrapped his entire car in orange and black crepe paper. After Myrtle retired from teaching special ed at Centerville High School, my mom kept in touch with Rich, who would do laundry with Mom and Myrtle at St. Leonard's. Rich would also always ask about Myrtle. I guess she made quite an impression. After retirement, Mom and Myrtle became closer when Jared passed away. They would take me out of my son Daniel's baseball games, and even though it was hard to get in and out of the car, she just loved to have the top down. She was one of the bravest people that my mom knew. She would come out of her eye appointments where she would say that she got shots in her eyes. It made her cringe. I don't know how she did that. Mom and Myrtle were a dynamic duo at Talbot's. She had her favorite clerk who would help her match colors and outfits, and they planned their trips based on how big the sales were and how big the coupons were. She loved to have tomato plants in the summertime. Mom and Myrtle went to Treadway's Farmer's Market, where they had Russian tomatoes. She wanted to grow some of her own, so they went to Lowe's, Home Depot, anywhere to find these tomatoes. And finally, they found them at Rural King in Lebanon, and Myrtle was ecstatic. Myrtle had that way of getting to the heart of things. She'd ask me what I thought about something, and then she'd offer a different viewpoint I hadn't considered. She was there when I graduated from high school. She was there when I graduated from college. She was there when I got married and met my wife. I thought I was a sports fan until I met Myrtle. That woman could give me a run for my money. She was a big Purdue and Kentucky fan, but her vast knowledge covered the Reds, baseball, NFL football, everything. She knew stadiums, players, and statistics. I was no match for her knowledge. One day I took her to a Centerville High School's basketball state semifinal at UD Arena. We made our way to our seats, and I asked her if she wanted anything, and she said, "No, I'm good." I got some water and I returned back to my seat. I looked at my watch to see how long we had until the game started. And at count them, 4 minutes go by, and she asked me, "Can I trouble you for some water?" I knew it, I explained. I took another bottle of water out of my jacket pocket. You didn't even last 5 minutes. I mean, what kind of day would I be if I didn't get you the water too? We both laughed, but that was our relationship. I mean, Myrtle was a hoot. Myrtle was also our trivia partner every Monday at the Submarine House in Centerville. I'd pick her up, and she would be a backseat driver, even though she was nearly blind. Look out for that dog. I don't think that fire hydrant's going to jump out in front of me, Myrtle. She would come up with the craziest of trivia answers, but she would rarely reveal how she knew that answer. We had many laughs over food and offbeat trivia, but that really made our Monday nights. All of us here have memories of Myrtle. Those memories are what keep her alive with us and in us. God gives us gifts like her to enrich our lives. I know I will be eternally grateful for knowing her for 37 years. Though God has called her name, we will all be reunited with her in heaven through Jesus. And that should excite us all. We love you and miss you, Myrtle. Until we meet again. Oh, and look out for that dog. Thank you.
As I said, look around you. Our connection with Myrtle actually goes long before we met her. There are some of us here who in 1954 started high school, and we met Jerry. And Jerry decided to marry Myrtle. And so we were included in that story that started 1954. That's just a couple years ago. And so because of that long association, I would like to stop for a moment and invite you. All of you are part of this story. All of you are part of the great reason that you're here. And so I'll be quiet for a moment, and I would like to invite you to come up and talk about your association with Myrtle, some of your remembrances.
Thank you all for coming today. I look out and I'm completely floored by how much my mom meant to so many people. And I'm truly grateful and blessed by that. I had a bit of time to start reflecting on my mom, and as she was battling her illness the last month. And, I wrote some things down, and there would be times where where's a pen when I need one, because I have a memory that I would like to share. But what's been the hardest the last few days for me is going through pictures and finding things that I knew she was looking for, and I found that picture of her with Ron home. I found my brother shaking hands with my dad that she had looked for years. I think it's pretty well documented. My mom was a woman of faith. She knew her Bible, and she planned the music today. Every song that has been played and will be played was very important to her. And so when I was beginning to look for the document that she said was, in addition to what she had told me, she said, it's in a nightstand. Well, it's in a small envelope in a nightstand full of paper. And inside of it there were 3 pieces of paper, but they all had the same songs written on them. And why did I do 3 copies of this? And I realized later, I think 1 copy was for you, 1 was for me. But the songs were consistent, and they were hands spelled right. Mom, to me, was a true steel magnolia. She epitomizes all 3 characters in that movie. She had the charm of Olivia Dukakis. She was very much a Southern lady, like Shirley MacLaine's character, Weezer. And she was very much like Sally Field's character. I saw my relationship with my mother in Sally Field's character with Julie Roberts and Shelby. The word that I think Mark mentioned this word, when I began to think about my mom, brave is what I think about. I think everyone knows my mom was a young girl. She was born in Harlan, Kentucky, raised in Harlan County, Kentucky. She went to Eastern Kentucky University, got a teaching degree, and she had a job waiting for her in Walnut Creek. But did she go to Walnut Creek? She didn't. She ventured out to the city of Cincinnati, which might as well have been Los Angeles for her. And that's where she met my dad and all of the PPCers, and the rest is history. It's all documented in our obituary. She met my dad, and they moved many places together. She was also brave, speaking of my dad, because another quick story, when I was entering my senior year at Purdue, my father approached my mother. Now, I wasn't there, but I imagine the conversation was something like, I've had this great career at NCR so far for about 15 years, but there's some lab equipment. And I'm going to buy it and start a business. And I can only imagine my mother thinking, sure, let's give it a whirl. What could possibly go wrong? We only have a child in college and one that's going to be going to college, but let's see what happens. But she was brave, and she supported my dad. She supported her children. She did everything for us and for her family. When my mother was in the hospital, the nurses were asking Mike and me, describe your mother for us. And I said, the nurse continued. She said, we feel like your mom is really spicy. That's a perfect word for her. And I said, well, tell me why you think she's so spicy. She said, she's always got a sense of humor, got a comeback, and her fight was just as tough a fight as anyone they've seen. Okay, so we missed our calling to riches and retirement. We should have been in a game that was called, What Does Mert's Text Mean? Apparently Siri wasn't programmed for my mother's Southern accent. So, if you can figure this one out, and it's called Siri Surrey. So, if you can figure out what this text means, come see me after the service and I'll tell you right now. The master next cat is in knots. You get this and you're like, am I supposed to do something? So, she was singing, right as she got sick, she was singing us all cheers on Siri, and Boilers was Ballers. It was priceless. But it was really fun to have those final memories with her. She never met a stranger, she and my dad. And a quick story about that, so Mike and I are headed down to Naples for the first time, spending some time in the condo, and my mom and dad said, we have to go meet Wayne. Who's Wayne? Wayne sold their furniture at Florida Flair. We're supposed to go meet Wayne. I came back home and she asked if we met Wayne. I said, sorry, we didn't. I should have just said yes because she asked us the next time we went. She had a good taste. She had a very classic style. As Mark mentioned, Talbots, I agree. I think their stock is tanking at this very moment. Everyone who knew my mom knew that the standard for white shoes is Derby Day. It is not Memorial Day, it is Kentucky Derby Day, so just know that. She was well spoken, she was a stickler for grammar, in spite of not being a spell. She was quite possibly a speller, right? In fact, it was something probably spelled. She was smart, she was worldly, she ran the household and the budget, she could converse on a variety of subjects. She loved to tell stories, she could drag them out, quite honestly. And one of the things that I will miss most is her companionship. She was always up for a road trip, she was up for a bowl game, she was up for any sporting event, she was up for a trip to the lake, she was up for a trip across seas. She loved to go, and I will miss that incredibly. As Mark said, her love for sports and knowledge of all sports was epic. Her trivia team depended on her. This is, I hope people know who this is. So I was attempting to straighten out some things around my mom's house. And I ran across things, slips of paper seemed to come in threes. So I ran across 3 separate slips of paper. And on that slip of paper was a phone number. It was a phone number from Paul Feinbaum. If you don't know who Paul Feinbaum is, he is the SEC network what Kirk Street is game day. And I'm hoping Michael shared the story later, but she called Paul Feinbaum. And she was on the air. And so Michael shared the story maybe. But before I get off the subject of sports, one of the things that I regret that I know she will admit, she was, sorry, and just waiting to see what the sanctions were going to be on those cheaters from up north. Another memory that I have, and I think I have this in a voicemail decision, but I'm not positive. I think the two of you were either watching the Bengals, it was either the playoff or it was the Super Bowl in 2022, and you were in Florida, and I think that you were singing, you guys called me, you were singing Bengals songs. It wasn't Welcome to the Jungle, but it's some song I don't even think I knew. And it sounded like you were, I don't know, you had pots and pans or pom-poms. But she called and she loved voicemails, and I think the two of you sing. I'll have to find it. If I find it, I will send it to you. So I'm going to close with, Mike always said that my mom had a friend that reminded him of Shirley Temple, and I can see that. I didn't ever see a Shirley Temple movie that I know of, but I think I did catch a little piece of one time, and it was, if it was Shirley Temple, she was visiting her grandparents on their porch on Bush Street. And as she's leaving, they're all saying, come back soon, come back and visit, and you learn through the dialogue, the grandparents are deceased, and it's in Shirley's memory. And they said, we're always alive in your memory when you come back to visit us. So I hope that today, well, one last thing before I stop. One of the things that was important to my mom today, in addition to music, was have people be able to share memories of her. My cousins did that recently at my aunt's funeral, my mom's sister, back in the fall, and my mom loved that, even though she didn't speak. And so, no pressure, but we would very much like to hear memories or thoughts about my mom as we keep her alive today and all of our hearts and memories. Again, thank you so much for coming. See you later. You know what, Master Next Cap is in knots. And we'll bring this to you.
Would anyone like to start to share a memory?
My name's Julie, and I'm Myrtle's niece. And, first of all, I really miss Myrtle, love her to death. I love these guys to death. And one of my favorite memories, being who we're sharing this the other day, is we've had numerous family parties together. Usually at my house or my parents' house or Myrtle's house, of course. But we always would go to Myrtle's house when we all were little kids. Our family had 7 kids, and of course there was one period that Myrtle would always put us at the kids' table. And so there was 9 kids sitting at the kids' table, and Myrtle, of course, was a wonderful cook, and she was offended if you ever left any food on her plate. So what we would do is after we were finished eating everything that we could eat, before she came in, we would slide her, plate under the table for the dog to finish the dog and make her. So when she came back, everything was, oh, we had everything. And so at the end of the night, every single year without fail, she always go, Jerry, I don't understand why you're not hungry tonight. Well, we had 9 plates of food, that's why. So that's forever in my memory, as your mom says too, and the other parties. The other thing is that your parents were so gracious to come to not only our kids' events, but our grandkids. I mean, they're wonderful. And I had one other memory, and I'll say, oh, great. You talked about your mom being brave. When your dad died, the very first year, she invited us up her Thanksgiving. Sorry. And she didn't want the tree put up. And she let my put the tree up. And she sat in your dad's place, and she had us all around. So, she came to us, she was like, I gotta do this for the family, and she was the most gracious host. I missed her fruit salad. Oh my God. Her frozen fruit salad, that's my favorite memory. I told him, I go, you gotta remember, tell me how to cook that, because that was my favorite. So, those are mine. Any next? Next. Okay. You don't have to say.
Okay, thank you. My name is Marcia, and I am Myrtle's niece. She was my mother's younger sister, and yet we're 14 years apart from Myrtle and her mother, and only 10 years apart from Myrtle and I. So when I was a kid, and my sister Linda, Myrtle was more like an older sister to us, so I never called her Aunt Myrtle. I just called her Myrtle, or Myrtle the Turtle. The anxiety we were long before Linda was born was Myrtle in high school, being a cheerleader, and we would visit with them during the summer, and we would just make her drag us along with her, which she hated. And we would all meet at the lake, and my favorite memory is breakfast. And we're all eating breakfast, and what does Myrtle have? RC Cola. That was her breakfast, along with a bacon and a tomato sandwich. So we would all pile into this little cabin, sleep on the floor, sleep on couches, sleep everywhere, and those are the memories that I have most fondly at Myrtle, because we were just kids. And then as we got older, we would only see them a couple of times a year, but just saw her in October, and just can't believe that she's gone.
Did I see someone else would like to share something?
Okay, I'm Patty Schiff, and yes, I'm guilty of singing that song. It was Cincinnati Bengals, that thing with the tiger growl. We had a great time. I have cheated because I had to find my notes. This is a short note. Okay, I had to write this because otherwise I'm very needy. I'm not needy. An American writer, Susan Sontag, writes, "Life is a movie, death is a photograph." Bird's very quick illness and death is truly a photograph that will always be with us, everybody here present and those that can't be with us in person. Ms. Sontag said first that life is a movie. Mert's life was quite a movie. Each of us have our own great memories of our dear Myrtle. My memories are many of a good friend and all the laughs, discussions, serious and sometimes gossipy, that we have had. I met Myrt in January 1950-ish. We've had many great and sometimes very sad things that we shared together. One of my favorite stories was when our children were young, and Myrt would call on the phone that was hanging on our kitchen wall. Remember, we had those hanging. Okay, so she would call, and she'd say, "Hey there," and they'd get off, they'd come and they'd say, "Mom, Mrs. Hock was on the phone." And in her little southern accent, she'd say, "How'd they know that was me?" I used to love that story. I never met, again, a more enthusiastic sports fan than Myrtle. We would watch the games, and it was so much fun to watch a game with her. We didn't always agree which team we wanted to win, but she really did know statistics and what she was talking about. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I believe you. These were just a couple of my movie scenes in Myrt's movie. We all have many scenes in Myrt's movie, and it is one heck of a movie. We will miss Myrt, and all of her stories and all of her influence on our lives, but we'll never forget her.
Would you like to share? Great Granny Myrtle came to all my singing concerts. I had the Kettering Children's Choir, so she came to all my concerts. And the last time I saw her was the day before she went into the hospital at one of my concerts. So I'm really thankful I got to see her. Is there anyone else that would like to share a memory?
Yeah, thank you, Jim. This is about Lynn's and Perry's mom, not mine, but my mom always said, when I was a kid, I'd go, "Well, that's funny." And she would say, "Is it funny, ha, or funny with you?" Well, I didn't know what that meant. But Myrt was at the same boat at the same time. And I'd like to share a couple of those with you. Just a couple. And I'm going to end with the Paul Feinbaum story. And I'll throw a tomato in here as well. But
No.
yeah, tomato.
No.
Yes. The first thing was, we're at the lake, we're always at the lake. And I'm one of those people that loves antique road shit. I think someday I'm gonna find something in a garage sale for like $5, and I'm gonna make $1 million off of it. I mean, I'm just certain that's gonna happen these days. And so that's how I approach going to a junk shop or a place where you have a lot of that kind of stuff together. And for whatever reason, Mert and I were available to do that together. And she and I went. We were the only ones that went. Imagine that. No one wanted to go. But we walked in the door. This is early in our relationship. We walk in the door, and of course, I'm going through there like I'm looking for that $1 million piece. I'm searching, anxious to find it. And after just a few minutes, I realized, where's nowhere to be found. She went through that building like Grant took Richmond. She just went down one aisle, down the next aisle, out the door. That was her. So, that was peculiar. There happened to be a place, I think this is a county in Kentucky, I'm not certain, because he goes to county, but there's a place called Granger County, I believe. And in Granger County, they grow the much desired tomatoes. At least in East Tennessee, they're much desired, because when you go to the stores there, they'll have them proudly displayed Granger County tomatoes. So they're sought after. And again, Bert and I, it's surprising because I look back in my memory how many escapades the two of us went on. I don't know where everybody else was, but we went to a place in Columbus. And it's an outside of Columbus farm market kind of thing, and there was, of course, tomatoes there. And somehow, again, I'm off looking at whatever interested me. She is over there having this debate with the owner about whether or not these are Granger County tomatoes. The owner said to her, it was represented to her for certain, these are Granger County tomatoes. Mert was not happy. And quite the discussion ensued to the point that I thought, we're going to have to get her out here. I should have written these down because I had one more that I wanted to share. That was peculiar, by the way. But I'll end with what was funny. So you heard that she called Paul Feinbaum. And we got to hear either a recording or something of that after the fact, or we tuned into it at home. And I saw it, but it wasn't Myrtle from Dayton. It was Evelyn from Dayton. And it was just Myrtle Evelyn.
Yeah.
And later I said to her, Myrtle, I thought it was really, really good. She did a great job. But I said, but why did you use the name Evelyn? She said, well, I didn't want anybody to know it was me. The last thing I was going to do is she was at our house and she was complaining about how much it was costing to do her hair. And I kind of think it was a natural question, but it was pretty stupid of me to ask. But I did anyway. I said, so what's it cost you to do your hair? She looked at me with the worst look I think I've ever received from a woman. It was like I asked for a combination of feeling sick. But that's her. She's funny and she's cute. Who's going?
I'll be one. So I've got some friends in the back here. You guys will find this story, you'll find you guys might also, because I'm sure it was the same for you growing up. But Lynn and I, when we were first born, we were taken to the lake. And so we would be forced to get into the lake in like April or May. And thank God for life jackets, because they were kind of holding the warmth a little, but mom and dad would sit in the boat, snack, and he knew dad, he was drinking beer. And Lynn and I would just be bobbing in the water like outcasts. And all of a sudden, mom would lean over and be like, Jerry, look, their lips are turning blue. Swim around more, you'll warm up. So to this day, we have no aversion to getting into a lake because we grew up with little fish nipping at us, and they're just, little things. And then also, we're like, 70 degrees, wetsuit legal, what? This is a perfect swimming. People around us, what? It's freezing. I'm like, oh, you don't have enough cold yet. And your lips turn blue, your mom's telling you to swim around, you'll warm up, that's cold. But we had a lot of great memories with the family down at the lake. And a lot of great memories with mom and so forth. And inevitably, Aunt Sue would be yelling at mom or yelling at Granny and not going on the trip or something like that. So, yeah. So that was kind of mom and dad on vacation, just around or go on.
Hi, everybody. I took some notes here last night, wrote these down. But first off, thank you all for being here. It means a lot to me and all of us. My name is Kevin Hock, but many of you might know me as KB. My granny gave me the nickname KB when I was born, and it has truly stuck since. But, however, if Granny wanted to get a sentence out fast enough, my name turned Harry, Marshall, or the old dog Bugle from the 80s. My granny was truly my #1 fan. She really was. She was there when I was graduating from Baden or Purdue. She was there potty training me, and she was there. If we had a baseball tournament all the way down in Florida or up in Cooperstown, she was truly always there for me. She had a lot of hidden talents throughout her life. She was a phenomenal teacher, helping the kids of tomorrow, learn the ways of happiness. If any of her bridge teammates are in the room today, my heart goes out to you. You lost somebody who was dedicated to the game. 2021 and 2022, Granny humbled me in my March Madness bracket, gave me the third round in the tournament, and correctly picking one round of 32 almost perfectly. Every year for the past 8 years, ever since I've been 16, as soon as I got my license, the week between Christmas and New Year's, I would have to drive Granny down to the condo in Naples, Florida. And if you don't know how far that drive is, it's about 15 hours. If you're going above, 78 miles an hour. Well, all along the ride, I could have complained. I could have. But I didn't. I never took that drive for granted because nothing really beats a 10 p.m. stop at Cracker Barrel. At Cracker Barrel, learn more about her, the family, and the love she expressed for others, even if she did take an hour-long phone call in the car ride down. Not only did Granny touch my life in the deepest ways, but I hope all of you in this room as well. Today, I have to say goodbye to an idol and my best friend, but the memories I'll have with her will be with me for the rest of my life. Hock, that's my last name, and on Granny and Grandpa's side, I'm facing the end of the tree. So, Granny and Grandpa, if you're listening, and I know you are, as long as I have a pulse, I won't let you down. So, I love you both. Love Katie.
Hello, I am Lori, and I am one of Aunt Myrtle's nieces, and there are all things that we have in common. She liked Diet Coke or Diet Coke, and she also loves shrimp. And I've been fortunate enough to travel a lot around the world, and it was always funny how like different places I would go. She'd be like, well, I had the best Diet Coke, and it was, $7. And then when I got to Russia, about 10 years ago, she was like, how was that Diet Coke? And I was like, oh, it was about a $9 Diet Coke, so pretty good. But I hope, Myrtle's enjoying peace, and, her family is in our thoughts and prayers.
Is there anyone else who would like to share? Okay, we are now going to hear a song.
There's a land that is clearer than day, and by faith we can see it afar. For the Father waits over the way to prepare us a dwelling place there. In the sweet by and by, meet on the beautiful shore, in the sweet by and by, we shall meet on the beautiful shore. We shall sing on that beautiful shore the melodious songs of the blessed, and our spirit shall sorrow no more. Not a sigh for the blessing of rest in the sweet by and by. We shall meet on that beautiful shore, in the sweet by and by. We shall meet on that beautiful shore. To our bountiful Father above, we'll offer our tribute of praise for the glorious gift of His love and the blessings that follow our days. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore.
So I ask you all, please, to stand. When Jesus walked this earth, He taught us a prayer about two things that we don't get through a day without: bread and forgiveness. And so I ask us all to join together in a prayer that we all know. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. Is this a song?
Looks like it, yeah. It's recording.
That's after the dismissal.
Yeah, okay. All right. So thank you all for being, thank you all for coming. Amen and glory to you. Thank you.
Folks, this does conclude the services here today for Myrtle. On behalf of the Hock family and the Rousong family, thank you all so much for coming. We do invite you to a reception. We will have a reception here in this room to continue sharing memories. We are going to ask you folks to just give the family a moment. They are going to leave the chapel first, and then you folks can leave as well. Again, thank you all so much for coming out today.
Are you singing another song?
No, it's a recording song. So that's what she's
We still listening. We got guys, just go forward with me. No, we're good. Forward with me. Oh, maybe I did. I'm gonna go work on making you good. Oh, this is good. No, it's fine. I can leave it someplace. It's good to see you too.